Hello, this is the tradesight U.S. stocks and futures market preview for the week beginning Monday, the 8th of September, 2014, and ending Friday, the 12th. Hope you had a great trading week. We certainly did. First week, 4-day week, but still a first week back from summer, from Labor Day, from the doldrums of August. We sure hit a home run this week. Great trading day Thursday, nice trading day Tuesday as well. Wednesday was all right. Friday we didn't do much, but didn't lose either way. So it was a good trading week, a good start to summer. And what's interesting is here's a look at the ES front month futures. This is the S&P E-mini futures contract. Doesn't look like much else happened. Almost doesn't look much different than what we saw back in August. But the volume was there, and stocks were moving up to a 20-point winner on a price line call. Stuff we just did not see happening back in August. So let's take a look at, there's no new counts here, hasn't really rolled over. I'll show you the intra-week action. This is actually a new closing high on the contract, believe it or not, but it's still all in a fairly narrow range. Nothing really exotic has happened yet. Here's a look at the NASDAQ side. NASDAQ side actually closed right about where it closed last Friday. A little more negative. We did see some selling waves this week, and that's the interesting part is all the program trading for the most part was on the sell side. We didn't really have any program trading in August. So it's interesting that, well, not surprising, we called and predicted that this is probably gearing up for some sort of little pullback. You can see the red static trend line here on the NDX back just under 3,900. That would probably be the target on a move to the downside, and that would basically erase the non-volume days that we saw back in August. Here's a look at volume. You can see the last 4 days. Tuesday and Wednesday. Monday was a holiday, so Tuesday and Wednesday right back up above 1.7 billion. Thursday was still fine at 1.6. Fridays are usually a little lighter anyways, 1.5. All four of those are much better numbers than what we were seeing in the weeks before. That is what happens in August. So we've just completely leapfrogged the volume of the last 3 weeks. So that's that middle period in August that's always so horrible. And I expect it to hold up like this and probably crawl even higher as we get into the better trading part of the year. Here's a look at the SOX, the semiconductor index, actually back to highs and up against that green static trend line. Here's a look at the biotech index, actually rolled to the downside this week. Apple, big down day on Wednesday. Google holding up here, looking nice. It's got a broad cup and handle going back 6 months. It's got a cup here more recently, a little base breakout potential. Looks very constructive on Google. I'm not sure if it'll hold up if the market rolls over to the downside. Here's a look at Amazon, also had a positive week, but still not back near highs. Netflix swept the highs and failed on Wednesday. That was one of those sell programs that hit at that time. And then Tesla came back. Interesting comments from the CEO that he felt like sometimes their stock was a little overvalued, and the stock came down on that comment. So let's also take a quick look at crude oil, and then we'll get into the intra-week action. We'll look at what's ahead. Crude oil looking like it's going to break down this low-range base, head back maybe into the 80s. That would be remarkable. All right, let's take a look at what happened this week in intraday on 10-minute bar charts. That's so we can see the whole week on this chart. And well, we only had 4 days, so this is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. You can see the Monday they do open the futures market, even though there's no trading for a couple hours on the Labor Day holiday. So if I just slide it like this, you can see Friday's close, the Monday non-action. Tuesday we gapped up and filled early, then bounced, then rolled to the downside. Again, that first sign of the bigger players being back were those 3 blue bars down, the 3 program trading waves to the downside on volume. We didn't see that either way in August. Most of August was gap up and drift higher. This is actual selling that's going on in the market. Then you can see on Wednesday, bigger gap up and a complete sell-off to fill that gap. But the funny thing is, after both of those days, we were still closing right about the 2,000 level on the ES. That's the same as Friday's close. So the net of those days, even though more selling than buying intraday, was nothing. And then Thursday, we gapped up and tried to head higher, and then sold off the rest of the day after the first hour's play. And again, big selling pressure on volume in the afternoon. A little bounce back takes us back to within 2 points of the 2,000 level on the ES. And finally, Friday, we gapped down a little, traded on the downside, and drifted higher through the afternoon. I wouldn't say there's program trading to the upside, because if you look, the volume does not match up with that move over lunchtime, and we closed off the day. And the week just around 2006 on the futures. So a slight gain for the week, but not near the highs. And I would say most of the volume was actually to the downside. If we look at the NASDAQ side, we get something fairly similar. It looks like this. So we closed just above where we closed last Friday. So the net for the week is not overly exciting on the NASDAQ side either. All right, what do we have coming out this next week that we need to be focused on? We aren't yet into key earnings season. We're still a month away from that. We don't have a Fed announcement. We don't have a GDP announcement. We don't have anything else, no options expiration this week that we need to be worried about. We're still another, that'll be the following week. We don't have any holidays coming up, and volume is good. What does that really typically mean? What it typically means is just a good, solid trading environment for us. So let's take a look at what the actual economic data coming out this week is. On Monday, we've got consumer credit. That's not until 3 p.m. in the afternoon. That's not a big deal. On Tuesday, 30 minutes into the market, the JOLTS job openings, not a big deal. On Wednesday, the MBA mortgage index, wholesale inventories, crude oil inventories, none of that's a big deal. Thursday, initial and continuing jobless claims, natty gas, and Treasury balance, budget balance in the afternoon, which is 2 in the afternoon, too late. On Friday, we've got retail sales, import-export prices, and Michigan sentiment, along with business inventories. None of our major big three data points are out this week. None of that to worry about. Hopefully, it means we can have a good, clean, solid, straightforward trading technical week now that the volume is back in the market. We'll be here in the lab helping you out. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. Hope to see you soon. Have a great trading week.